When a waitress dares to show kindness to a homeless man, her life takes an unexpected turn. Fired by her boss, she loses everything. Or does she? What happens next will leave you speechless and restore your faith in humanity. Stay tuned. The diner was alive with its usual morning energy, a symphony of clinking dishes, murmured conversations, and the occasional shout of an order from the kitchen. The scent of sizzling bacon and fresh coffee wafted through the air, giving the small establishment a comforting warmth. Emily wove through the crowd with practiced ease, balancing trays and jotting down orders. Though her movements were quick, her attention to her customers never wavered. Her smile had a way of putting people at ease. Whether it was the grumpy old man who came in every morning for black coffee, or the young couple stopping by for a pre-work breakfast. But something about this morning felt different. As Emily delivered a plate of pancakes to a table, her eyes wandered toward the window. There, sitting on the curb outside, was a man who looked like he had been forgotten by the world. His clothes were frayed, his face pale and unshaven, and his shoulders hunched forward as if the weight of his struggles was pressing him into the ground. He didn't move much, but his eyes scanned the plates of food being carried inside the diner, filled with longing. Emily hesitated for a moment, her heart tugged by the sight. Homelessness wasn't uncommon in the city, but there was something about this man, something in his gaze that she couldn't ignore. She knew she had to do something. After a quick glance around the diner to ensure her tables were taken care of, Emily walked to the counter and began preparing a plate. She scooped scrambled eggs, bacon, and hash browns onto a plate, grabbed a slice of buttered toast, and poured a steaming cup of coffee into a sturdy mug. She placed everything neatly on a tray and headed outside. "Excuse me, sir," Emily said softly. The man flinched slightly, startled by her presence. He looked up, his tired eyes narrowing in suspicion. "Can I help you?" he asked cautiously, his voice hoarse. "I thought you might be hungry," Emily said, holding out the plate and coffee. "Here, please take this." The man's hands trembled as he reached for the food. I don't have any money," he murmured, his voice thick with embarrassment. "You don't need any," Emily replied with a warm smile. "It's on the house." The man stared at her, disbelief flickering across his face. "Why would you do that?" he asked quietly. "Because you deserve kindness," Emily said simply. "Everyone does." Unbeknownst to Emily, her actions hadn't gone unnoticed inside the diner. Mr. Grayson, the owner, had been watching from his office. To him, Emily's gesture wasn't an act of kindness. It was an infraction. As soon as Emily returned to the diner, Mr. Grayson stormed out of his office. His face was flushed with anger and his voice was sharp enough to silence the chatter of the diners. "Emily!" he barked. "What do you think you're doing?" Emily turned to face him, startled by his tone. I was just helping someone who needed it," she said carefully. "Helping someone?" Mr. Grayson scoffed. "You gave away food without paying for it. Do you know how much that plate cost? This is a business, not a charity." Emily straightened her back, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. "It was just one plate, Mr. Grayson, and he was hungry. I couldn't just ignore him." "Well, you should have," Mr. Grayson snapped. "You've embarrassed this diner in front of our customers. You're fired." The room fell silent as every pair of eyes turned toward Emily. Her chest tightened, but she refused to back down. "If showing kindness is something to be ashamed of, then maybe I don't want to work here," she said firmly. She removed her apron and set it on the counter before walking out the door with her head held high. Outside, Emily sat on a bench, trying to process what had just happened. She was so lost in thought that she didn't notice the sleek black car pulling up until the door opened and a man stepped out. "Excuse me," he said, his tone warm and polite. "Are you Emily?" Emily looked up, startled. "Yes, that's me," she said hesitantly. "I heard about what happened," the man said, sitting down beside her, "and I want you to know that your actions were nothing short of heroic." "Heroic?" Emily asked, her eyes widening. "But I lost my job." The man who introduced himself as Mayor Daniels nodded. "Sometimes doing the right thing comes at a cost, but people like you, people who lead with their hearts, are exactly what this community needs." He handed her a card. "There's a nonprofit organization that works with veterans and the homeless. They're looking for someone compassionate and dedicated. If you're interested, I'd be happy to recommend you." Tears filled Emily's eyes as she took the card. "Thank you," she said. "This means so much to me." The mayor didn't stop there. He shared Emily's story on social media, praising her courage and calling on the community to do more to help those in need. The post went viral, sparking a wave of kindness. Donations poured into local shelters, volunteers stepped forward, and businesses began partnering with nonprofits to create job opportunities for people like Sam. As for Sam, his life took a remarkable turn. With the nonprofit's help, he received medical care, therapy, and a place to stay. He even found part-time work at a local community center, helping other veterans who were struggling. Years later, Emily would look back on that fateful day and smile. What had started as a simple act of kindness had grown into a movement that transformed lives and reminded people of the power of compassion. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel where we bring you inspiring stories of kindness, courage, and hope every week. Together, we can make the world a kinder place, one act of compassion at a time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.